Onslaught is the new Horde mode activity in Destiny 2, and this build is Onslaught focused, where you are under attack by waves upon waves of enemies. This build is basically excellent at shutting down lanes of enemies, it deals with champions, and it also synergizes with group play, which you can do through the match made activity of this new Onslaught playlist. This one is all based around, like I say, shutting down lanes and keeping all the groups of enemies that are rushing down alleys and whatnot, especially in that Midtown map, just under control at all times. Anywhere from wave 1 all the way up to wave 50, you're going to be able to shut down enemies, you're going to be able to deal with them champions. It does everything for you and your team, and it all starts with the Wishkeeper Exotic Bow. Now, who would have thought of this at the beginning of Season of the Wish, that the seasonal exotic was going to actually come in clutch for this new Horde based mode? But it actually does, and obviously this one is a craftable Strand energy bow, and that means that it comes with a few different tweaks that you can go with. I haven't maxed mine out as yet, but to be fair, the Enduring Snare refit is probably one of the best ones. This means that once you build up that Snare Weaver, you can release that hipfire shot and basically create a Strand Trap. Now, this is going to last for 15 seconds instead of the base 10 seconds, and in a Horde based mode, then that is just absolutely perfect. It's just going to sit there and it's going to wait for them enemies, whether it's the Thrall or whatnot, to just come running over, and it's just going to put them in their place, stop them in their tracks, and it's going to either allow you or your teammates to just deal with them as you wish. Now, this bow has an added bonus in that it does extra bonus damage to suspended enemies. Now, not just from the bow itself, but also suspended enemies from any other source. It'll do 50% extra damage, so it's nothing to be sniffed at there with that one. And you also get a little bit of a reload speed and a draw speed bonus as well when that is active. Plus, you've got lots of synergy with the artifact this season. Obviously, solo is flavour of the month still in this long and never-ending season, but we've got unravelling orbs and Horde shuttle, which are basically going to give us unlimited unravelling rounds to our strand weapons, and also occasionally spawn threadlings. So that's just going to add to the madness and essentially help with the shutdown nature that the Wishkeeper basically gives us. Now, with that one, we're going to be running Broodweaver, and there's nothing better than the Wanderer, which is basically going to allow you to create an infinite loop of suspending bursts from the tangles that you create. If that wasn't enough, then basically you're going to be using Mindspun Invocation, you're going to consume that Shackle Grenade and activate Weaver's Trance, and then everything that you defeat whilst Weaver's Trance is active, you're going to create a suspending detonation. Now this, along with Wishkeeper and the Wanderer, is just basically an infinite loop of suspended enemies. And to top that one all off, we've got the Swarmers and triple Strand Weapon Surge, and basically destroying these tangles, not only are they going to suspend targets, but with the Swarmers they're also going to create threadlings. These threadlings are now going to unravel targets that they damage, and that also counts from Horde shuttle, so they're going to create these strand threads that are just going to whiz all over the place, and you're going to be basically unraveling everything, suspending everything, and just basically beating everything up Strand style. Now obviously unravelling rounds, they're going to help you deal with the barrier champions that are in this mode, and also the Unstoppable Bow mod from the seasonal artifact, that's going to help you in terms of dealing with the unstoppable champions, but also suspending enemies will deal with unstoppable champions. In terms of extra mods that probably a bit of a standout, obviously you're going to want Strand Siphon on your helmet. This is going to create orbs of power, which is going to essentially allow you to get that infinite unravelling rounds from the artifact, as well as the Strand Weapon Surge for that 22% bonus. And I also like to put in Powerful Friends and Radiant Light, just to basically just add that little bit of team play synergy when collecting orbs of power and casting your super. Definitely a nice little touch there. You're also going to want to put your resistant mods on, and put a bomber mod on your class item. That's always a good worthwhile one, as well as time dilation. Now in terms of the other weapons, then I chucked on Acacia's Dejection, just basically because of the extra bonus that you get from the modifiers in the Onslaught activity, which are currently for trace rifles. It may change, I don't know how often that's going to change. And the only one that I probably may switch out was the Croaxis Distress Grenade Launcher. Now don't get me wrong, this thing is absolutely insane, especially with the recent buffs to grenade launchers. But in terms of its ad clearing potential, I wasn't massively enjoying it. I think mainly because of the role. Envious and Surrounded is definitely more focused on boss damage. Now you can get a hatchling roll for this, which is absolutely bonkers, so it may be that you might want to, especially if you've got the crafted version, just switch that up if you want to, but otherwise I'd stick with that. Maybe go with literally any other ad clearing weapon. I think swords are probably going to do bits in this one, so if you have the Strand Sword from the new Warlord's Ruined Dungeon, the Dragon Cult Sickle, then that can probably do bits as well. All in all, this build just excellent for shutdown. It's just got everything going, and it's just going to make Onslaught a really easy mode. Basically just chew the fat with your friends, chill out, sit back and just, you know, keep them enemies at bay. And then it's got the damage that you need if you need to take out some of the beefier enemies with the super or your heavy weapon. Obviously Caraxis pretty good at doing that one. So there we go, a quick weapon and build breakdown for what I've been using in Onslaught. I don't want to make this one drag out, so thank you very much for your time. We're trying to keep these ones short and sweet. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.